Hello, my name is Imani McCullough, and today I will be talking about my own personal biases for one of my classes. Let's talk about what a bias is. So, I wrote down the definition. It is a prejudice in favor of or against one thing, person, or group compared with another, usually in a way considered to be unfair. I am to self-reflect on how I view others, judge others, and what I can do to be more accepting and open. When I was young, I used to judge others based on religion, like not people with other religions, but people who weren't religious. Not that I was like mean towards them or anything, but I sort of thought that it was bad that they weren't religious and kind of tried to steer clear of them in the past. But then the more I grew up, I started to realize that's unfair of me to do that to other people, or that's not giving them a chance to be who they are. That's not giving them a chance to be a person. They have every right to believe in whatever they believe in, or to not believe in whatever they believe in. And the more I grow in my own faith, the more I grow up as a person, I start to like I love everybody. And I tell strangers I love them. I tell people I love them. I love everyone. There is no room in my heart for hate. There's no room at all. And if God loves all his children, and if he loves me despite all my flaws and everything, then I love all his children too, no matter what. So I just thought that I'd add that in as one thing that I was sort of biased towards when I was growing up or younger. Mostly because the way I was raised around like religion and everything, I thought that. But now that I'm older, I see God would not want things to be that way. He wants everybody to be together. He loves everyone. Which goes back to me saying, who am I to judge anyone? God loves everyone, and I do too. So initially, when looking over the prompt for this, I was a bit puzzled because I think I'm fairly accepting of everyone. Or at least I try to be. I don't like judging others because I don't think it's my place to judge others. I think that only God should be in charge of judging others. So I usually try to not do so. But after sitting and thinking for a bit, I thought maybe there is a group of people that I am more in favor of, or I am more inclined to be around. And it's not, I was reading the prompt and it mentioned things like, oh, people of your ethnicity, or things like that, people who have piercings, people who do this, people who do that. So just like a different list. I think the only bias that I may have are towards men. I don't think that I intentionally, or I mean any harm by it. It's just I tend to feel more comfortable around women. So I think that could be a form of me being biased, me being more in favor of being around women. I don't know, I find that I'm more at ease when I'm around women. I'm more trusting of them. My guard is still up around new people who are women, but it's not very high. It's not as high as it would be with if I were around new people that were men or that were male. I don't know. I'm not quite. I think it's because growing up, I sort of associated, I guess, being like more nurturing and being kinder and sweeter, like more understanding and patient with women, and I don't know, like looking like a motherly figure, I suppose. So I think maybe that's why I feel, and I've always been closer to girls. Like in school, I always had large groups of friends that were girls. I feel like I'm just overall more comfortable around girls, around women. So I think that if I have any biases, it's towards men. It's against men. Another thing, once I realized that, oh, maybe I am a bit biased towards men, in that I favor women over men. I started to think, are there any other instances, or are there any instances in my life where I may show this bias in an unfair way? Because usually I try to give everybody a chance, even like around males and stuff. No, I'm not rude towards them or anything. I watch them more, my guard up more, and I found that one way that I do sort of treat them a bit unfairly, it's not anything that I project out towards, it's more of something that I have going up in my mind. It's just, in all the jobs that I have worked so far in my life, I have found that the women that I work with are more hardworking, or they seem like they're go, they're getting their work done, and the males sort of slack off. And so I think that I associate women with being more productive. I think that when I think of them, I put women on a higher pedestal than I do men, which can be unfair if you think about it, because it's not really giving them a chance to be equal or on the same page, which I was sort of shocked to realize that, because I had not previously thought of what I was doing in that way. So the second question is, what can you do or already do to be kind and accepting of others? Well, one thing that I already do to be accepting and kind to others is to just keep an open mind when I meet people, when I talk to people. Because like I said earlier, I do not think it is my place to judge anyone. I make mistakes, people make mistakes, mistakes happen, it's a part of human life. I don't think anyone is perfect, I don't think anyone is even close to perfect. And I know that people struggle a lot internally, and what you may not see on the outside doesn't mean that just because you can't see it on the outside doesn't mean that it's not going on the inside. So one thing that I do is I just try to keep an open mind whenever people talk to me. There's no judgment here. People come up to me, people tell me they feel safe talking to me. A lot of people confide in me about things, and they like it because I try to always stay on the positive side of things. I have a tattoo on my wrist that says "Think Positive," and whenever I think of situations or hardships or struggles, I always like, yes, this is a bad thing, but I always try to look for a good side, or a point where the sun can come through. Anything, even if it's a small teeny tiny thing, even if it's not necessarily relating to the bad thing right then and there, I can try to associate a future thing that connects with the struggle or the hardship. I just try to be positive, and I try to spread positivity to people as much as possible. When people are struggling, I try to help them find light as well. But yeah, I just try not to judge anyone. Everybody has their own life. Everybody has free will. Everyone is free to make their choices and their decisions. And it is not my job. It is not my job to judge anybody on that. I do not think because I'm not perfect. Who am I to judge anybody? That's what I believe. So yeah, that's one thing that I do to be more kind and accepting of others. Another thing that I do is I try to put myself in other people's situations. Whenever I get into arguments, which is mostly with my siblings, because I'm not a super confrontational person, unless I think that someone is being treated super unfair. Then I'm like, then I can't. One thing that I always try to do is put myself in other people's shoes. Even if we have a disagreement, I try to think of things from their standpoint. I try to think of their viewpoints, like their perspectives. Why do they view this thing, or what are their motives for these things? Because from one standpoint, someone could think they're right because of their motives or their perspectives, and then on the other standpoint, the other person could think that they're right, or what they're doing is right in terms of their motives or their perspectives. I always try to put myself in people's shoes. I try to understand people instead of just jumping straight to conclusions or anything like that. I try to think of how life is going for other people in terms of things they have been through or certain situations, and I think that helps me when it comes to talking to people. I think that's one of the reasons why people feel more comfortable or inclined to come to me and talk to me about their problems, because they know that I'm going to try to be understanding, I'm gonna try to be patient, I'm gonna try to find a positive light for them, I'm gonna try to work with them, I'm going to try to not judge them to the best of my abilities, because I am human. I am human. So that brings me to the last question, which says, how does being open to others help you in your personal and professional life? I like to try to be as open with people as possible. I try to be upfront with people as possible in the nicest way possible, because what right do I have to be mean to people? I don't understand that. So one thing that I think that helps me with being so open, it allows other people to feel more comfortable around me, because I will be the first to say I made so many mistakes in life. I will be the first to say I'm not perfect. I will be the first to say, like, if I, in a room of people, if everybody else seems like they feel uncomfortable with something, I will be the one to try to, like, break the ice or try to, like, get people to not feel so uncomfortable. Mostly because I have anxiety, and before I start taking medication for it, I know what it is like to be nervous. I know what it is like to be uncomfortable in front of groups of people. So I try my best to make sure that other people don't feel uncomfortable, which is one of the reasons why I'm so open, because people need to know they're not alone. They need to know they're not struggling by themselves in the dark. They need to know. So yeah, I think that since I'm so open, people can ask me anything, anyone can ask me anything. I don't mind having conversations. People don't bother me. I always try to let everybody know, hey, if you ever need anyone to talk to about anything, even if you just need to say hi, if you can't sleep or something, like, go ahead. My inbox, my email, my Snapchat, I try to let people know everything is open. You can talk to me. If you just need somebody to call, you can call me. Like, even if we don't talk, even if we're not close, I try to let people know that I am someone that they can talk to. And I think that really helps build relationships with people in my personal life and in professional life, because people feel like I am someone that they can count on, someone they can rely on, someone they can go to, and they know that I'm not gonna close the door on them, or I'm not going to judge them or look at them or view them a certain way because of their viewpoints. So yeah, I think that me being so open with other people, I'm just looking at my sticky note, I think that me being so open with other people in turn helps them feel more comfortable around me, which in turn helps us have deeper conversations and build long-lasting relationships. So yeah, that is all that I have to say. Thank you for listening. Thank you to my professor for class. Thank you for assigning us this project and helping us open our eyes to different privileges and cultures and diversity. I learned so much. I did not realize, well, I think I had a sense of somewhat how different privileges that I have over other people, but I don't think that I realized the magnitude of them until this class. It was a huge eye-opener, so thank you so much.